Hello, friends out there in YouTube land. I am Robert Hamm, and today I'm coming to you with just another overview. This is my complete edit series, and we're actually looking at how we process images. So today I'm going to show you a little bit behind the scenes on how you take a wedding and break it down into manageable chunks so that you can process the image in a pretty nice and timely manner. So we're just going to work on this. This actually, last week we edited a photo from this set. This week we're going to talk about the part that actually happens before we edit any photos, which is how we categorize them, and we're going to go ahead and edit maybe one photo afterwards. I'm recording this on the H5N in stereo mode at 96K. I'm also recording this using the Xbox game app on my Surface Pro 4. And for those of you that are wondering exactly how this is running, it works very well. I've got the top spec Surface Pro 4. So there we go. So let's move right along. So this wedding right here, we just want to talk about it. It's 1,383 images over the course of 12 and a half hours. So right about 100 hours per image, 100 images per hour, I should say. And that's a long day. So when I shoot, I don't just shoot in RAW. I do RAW as well as JPEG. So the important part to note here is that I also have taken these RAW files. Right now we're looking at JPEGs, but I've also taken the RAW files and moved them over here to my external drive. Right now I'm not even connected to it, I don't think, and that's okay. But you'll see that we've got 1,382 RAW files, and right now we're getting little thumbnail previews, but I have not built smart previews for these images just because I don't think that I need them most of the time. Well, if I would need one of these, I'd just flag it a certain color and then come home and grab it. It just saves a little bit of space on the Surface Pro 4 hard drive, and it makes it easier to work with the images overall. But let's come back over here to this nice wedding. So the first thing that we'll notice is that I have gone through and kind of flagged things a little bit, but let's actually look and see precisely what it is that I do. I'm going to make my ratings everything equal to something. So right now, 1 star. Okay, so with everything is equal to no rating, so we see that all 1,383 images have a rating. And this can be done very, very quickly. It takes me maybe 10 minutes to rate this many photos. So there are no photos over here that have no rating. Let's go just equal to 1 star. What we'll find out here, and if I enlarge these thumbnails just a little bit, you'll notice that other than some items being flagged, because I have been working through this folder already, this gallery of images, all of my 1-star items are detail images. So 1 star equals detail. Detail of the shoes, detail of the ring, detail of the garter, detail of the wedding dress. Some of these images haven't been worked with at all, and they're just in their out-of-camera format. So there you can see images of just detail shots. Now, if you do notice that there are some images here that are color-coded, they have like purple flags and everything. When I set up my wedding gallery, the first thing I do when I get home is select my favorite 50 images, and I edit those images, and I put them online for the bride and groom the next day to view. I also put them on Facebook so they can be shared easily with my watermark. So that if you see purple images under any of this stuff, it's because those are my first look 50. That's a completed and edited image. So moving right along, 2 is real simple. 2 is preparation. Any preparation, bride and groom, 2 is preparation. And like I said, the majority of these shots are still raw. Some of them are working. We've got some really nice images of the bride having attention paid to her from the makeup artist. And I love to work with mirrors. You know, mirrors are cool. I like mirror shots. But anyways, this is just kind of candid, some fun stuff. Here's a really cool one. It's just black and white. But, of course, I was focusing on the bridesmaid's phone here. So, yeah, pretty cool like that. Nice to do. Anyways, so that's 2. 2 happen to be the pre-wedding images. Okay, 3. 3 are images that take place at the wedding. So whatever that might be, wedding images, however many images we have, and I've got like 330 from this wedding right here. There was so much going on, and the wedding was pretty long, so I was shooting a lot here, but I was also, this was a Catholic wedding, so they had a mass that was about an hour and 20 minutes, and there was so much stuff going on, and I had 3 different cameras, 2 different angles for some fixed cameras. Actually, I guess many different angles, but you can notice catch her crying and all that other stuff. And none of these images have actually been been edited yet. And so then we actually got the arrival. So this doesn't just include the hour and 20-minute session for their wedding. It also includes the departure and the arrival. So everything up to their announcement, you know? All right, so we're going to 4. 4 should be pretty simple, okay? If pre-wedding, now we've got, we went 1 is detail, 2 is pre-wedding, 3 is wedding ceremony, 4 is reception, okay? So everything from the reception. You know, receptions can be pretty long, but everything from the reception. Let's see if we can find, I'm going to find a really cool one that I really enjoyed from here, and that was of our bride's father dancing, and he had a really good time. Let's see, where is it? It's in here somewhere. Come on. Yeah, here it is right here. This is just a cool shot. I'll make that... I mean, that's just so cool. He was dancing. He spun around on the floor. And really fun family to work with. Actually, one of my favorite families that I've worked with. This is Mom. So Mom's having a great time. And when Mom and Dad are having this kind of a good time, everybody's having a good time. And I had a blast with these people. Truly, truly fun people. But then finally, 5, let's get rid of the purple rating. 5 happens to be all of the traditional pose shots, the family shots, traditional shots, things like that, at the wedding and at the wedding ceremony, just all the family shots. So there you have it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So when you think about wedding images, when you're trying to, look at 400 different photos that you might have from a particular time frame, think about how you're going to categorize them. And in 5 stars, you can very easily categorize the most important parts. Detail shots are very important for any wedding. The pre-wedding shots, the hair and makeup, very important for any wedding. The actual wedding ceremony, very important, obviously. The after party, very important. And then you can go ahead and do the actual portraiture, which is very important. Now, noting here, I do portraiture. You can see these are portrait images, obviously, but I do portraiture in 2 different locations. So I do portraiture at the chapel, and then I come and do portraiture once again. You'll notice I'll break them all down at the actual location. So I make sure that I get 2 completely distinct types of looks for my formal portraiture. Then this is very traditional, and just some nice, fun areas. And I do that because I like to deliver. I love family. I love portraits, so I like to deliver these kinds of shots. Anyways, there you go. There you have it. Now let's actually look through and see how we flag something. So it's quite simple. I'm going to come back to my detail images. This is where I was working earlier. And when we look at all this stuff, I don't have any flags right now. I just turned them off. So you might see that I took, in this instance, 1, 2, 3 different shots of the ring, okay, on the phone. And the important part here is the getting married, so the little calendar invite that was right there on her phone. And so for me, although I have 3 different shots, right, you can see that it's the one I like the best is what I picked. So when you think about here, you think about all the different types of shots that you're going to do, you might do 2 or 3 different versions, but only one makes the final cut. I think this one speaks the most, mainly because I liked just this arrangement. I didn't mind it here and the other places, but I enjoyed it. Notice that although I've X'd these out and flagged them so that I can very easily sort them, I haven't deleted them. And that's an important thing. If you ever want to come back and use those photos, if you delete them, kind of out of luck, aren't you? So if we notice right here, out of 82 detail shots that I took throughout the evening, only about half, 47, so 55, 60% actually made the cut to be deliverable. And as we're working through, none of these actually have an actual image number yet. So all these might see, if you look at where it says the image number RHP-X, that helps me identify my camera. RHP-X, X Pro 1, RHP-T, XT1, RHP-S, X100S. That just helps me visually identify the camera through my rating system very easily. But once it's all said and done, it will actually have the number associated with the file for the event. So my event is RHP KSEI 0604 2016. RHP Robert Hamm Photography KSEI, information about the bride and the groom's name and location, and then 0604 2016 date. I find this is very simple. If you look, you'll notice I've got things like FB, LS, RHP, TCM, TCDS. These are the different advertising avenues and the different entities that I use to identify where these particular job codes came from. So FB, these are people that have booked me from Facebook. LS, these are people that use a particular type of living social deal that I have. It helps me identify where my marketing money is being spent best. RHP, ESQ, identify the different package levels. RHP, Robert Hamm Photography, are my premier and signature package levels. They're very expensive weddings. ESQ are my entry-level wedding packages, and they pretty much compete with American Wedding Group at Bella and below, and that's particularly where I'm competing in this market with ESQ. And then as we look over here, you can actually see quite a few more. LS, RHP, so TCM, my Town Center Media. So these are corporate events and things that are paid for. SOU, that's things that are done specifically for my School of Uke. So anyways, so now you know, so you can now look, and the reason that that's important is by having a good import and folder system, you can very easily identify what kind of images actually are going to end up making the cut. Now what will happen is, once I'm completed with this set of images, I will give them an image number that matches the folder number and then an image number. Now I know this is flip-flopping, unfortunately, sorry, but once it happens there, like these you can see are all became first look images. So RHP, KSEI, first look images, and they went into a special first look folder that I posted for them. So that's something important to notice as well. So when we go through here, just getting back after we've talked about the folder rating system and we've talked about the flagging system, the idea is to just flag so that you have a number of different images that you want and then work the images. And so there we go. So once again, I hope that you enjoyed this. The key points to take away from this were how to take a wedding that might end up with several cameras and 1,000 images and break it down into a very manageable portion for you as a workflow photographer so that you can produce consistent results. That's the point. We've talked about folders. We've talked about image numbers. We've talked about rating. And then we've talked about how we would use different image numbers and rating systems to help us publish our images nicely. And once again, a good folder rating system that you can do with 5 stars. Most photo editing apps will allow ratings for 5 stars and colors. So if you think about images for weddings specifically as detail images for as 1 star, pre-wedding images as 2 star, wedding details or wedding ceremony images as 3 stars, after wedding reception images as 4 stars, and then the traditional or family portraiture throughout the day as 5 stars. And that's the rating system that I've come up over the past 5, going on 6 years of doing this. I hope it helps. But that's just how I do it. Let me know in the comments below if you found this video helpful. I hope that you did. Once again, I'm Robert Hamm with RobertHammPhotography.com. You can find me on Facebook and YouTube at /Robert Hamm Photography, and you can find me over on Twitter at RobHammPhoto. Guys, I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like and subscribe button, and I will talk to you next time. Keep shooting, my friends.